Shirt on. Hey, everybody! This is Penda James, and I am your scribe coach. And I am so excited to introduce you to Gloria Conyers. She is my friend, and she's also been a sandpaper moment for me that has sharpened me and strengthened me. And I want to introduce her to you today. And our topic that we're going to talk about is hope. I have hope no matter what it looks like. So,
Yes.
Gloria, tell our viewers who are watching now and who will watch the replay who you are.
My name is Gloria Conyers, and I'm from Rochester, New York. I moved here to Georgia 7 years ago to be with my family. I joined my pastor's church about 4 years ago. Probably the same time they joined, I joined. So we're all new at the same time. I met Miss Penda when I was doing praise dancing at our church. But now that we're no longer praise dancing, we're finding other ways to reach people online. So I love that I'm here. Thank you, Miss Penda, for inviting me, and I'm so excited to share my story with you.
Yes, I am so excited to share with you about hope. I think this is an amazing topic that we need to talk about. And so before we get into the conversation, I just want to share a little bit about why I'm doing these conversations. Number one, it's for me to confront my apprehensions about being in the public eye. I am, because I'm your first lady. So being in the public eye is not something that I ask for or seek or yearn for or need, but my platform as Penda James is bigger than what I have allowed myself to be. So I wanted to talk to people that I love and that I have relationships with, and I wanted to discuss things that are important to y'all. And in that, I wanted to create declarations for people in leadership because I just finished a journal for women in leadership and I haven't been talking about it. And so I thought it would be awesome to talk to people who are in leadership because you're a business owner, you're a podcast host, and you have all these ministries that are in you that you are birthing. And so I thought it would be awesome. So your first question that I have for you, Gloria, is how do you define hope?
Wow, hope. Hope. Okay, I'll do it this way because Hebrews 11:1 is my favorite verse in the Bible. And it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I see it as though you have to believe, you have to keep your head up, you have to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You have to know that things are not going to always be this way, that it's only for a season. You have to stay strong and faithful that your circumstances is going to change with the grace of God. That's in a nutshell. That's how I feel about it.
That is a really, really good definition. And I know some of your testimony, and I know that I'm introducing you to people who may not know you, but could you talk about how hope has been a running thread throughout your life?
Wow. Yeah, it really has because of what I've endured in my life with homelessness, foster care, not having my parents around, most of my life, and really just trying to endure the struggles of life and just trying to get through it as a young girl, age 12 to age 18 was very hard for me. But I had hope. And thank God my grandparents instilled in me church and God and staying faithful and not giving up no matter what it looks like. And because they passed away at a very young age, that's when I became homeless because once they passed away, I had nowhere to go. It's amazing that although you have parents that are alive and they see you struggling, but they don't help you. I don't know what's worse, either them being dead and me not seeing them or them being alive and my seeing them all the time and they're not reaching out to see what they can do for their child.
Okay.
So I struggled with that. And with hope and faith, I kept my head up. I kept getting jobs. I kept finding my way somehow. I had some people that mentored me as well, that showed me how to make my way better. So it's been a struggle. It's been really hard, but with faith and hope, nothing is possible for God. Nothing.
Now, you've done some amazing things, like produced television shows and won international awards. And I think that's just such a testimony of how, even though you were in the midst of storms, you knew something deep down inside that was bigger for you. Would you attribute that to your hope too?
I would, because I gave up, and I'll be honest with you. After my 8th surgery, I was really sick for a while too, in addition to all the other stuff. When I had my last surgery, I had lost all faith, hope, tired, just beat down, just exhausted from life. And I had to join the world championships because it gave me back my self-esteem. I lost that as well. So I did that for that reason. I needed to get back my self-esteem. I had to get myself back to where I was. I had to salvage and save myself, because who was going to do it? Me and God. It was me and God. And that's the only reason I entered those events, because God said, you need to do something to get you back to yourself. What are you going to do? You're going to wallow in your pity, or are you going to do something about it?
What would you say to people who feel like they don't have hope right now, or they don't know how to hold on to the hope that they have?
It's very hard sometimes, but I get a Bible verse. I write it on my mirror. I put it in my car. I put it on my phone, and I just download that stuff, and I start feeding myself positive information, because you have to understand that you have to speak life into your situation. You have to, because if you say it and it comes to existence, that means that you have made hope appear. Sometimes you have to have faith. Faith without works is dead. Without faith and hope, those two things go together. They marry one another. And so you need that. Without the other one won't work. You just need both of them. That's why Hebrew 11:1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for. So it goes together. And I'll tell them that you have to keep your head up, find a mentor, somebody that you can pour out what you're feeling into, find an outlet that you can give into. Like, my thing is, I give to people. I give of myself. I do something outside of myself. And for that reason, I feel better about myself, if that's understandable.
Oh, it makes sense. It makes sense. So Charnay Hearn Davis, she's asking a question to the people who are watching, but I'm going to ask it to you. You just kind of answered it, but what are you going to do to get back to yourself? And I think when we talk about holding on to the hope that we have, getting back to yourself, I'm going through that right now, Miss Gloria. I have been so unkind to myself over these past few years, like 4 years, since I've been so hard on myself. And I'm coming back to me.
I've seen you go through those struggles.
I've seen you. What?
I've seen you. Yeah, it's hard.
I mean, yeah, it's hard. And I really, the scripture says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so I stop. Love your neighbor.
I ain't loving them.
I love my neighbor, but I won't do what I need to do I won't love them I won't love myself the way that I love my neighbor. So I'm all out of order. Crazy. So now I'm finding my way back to hope and to dreams, and I love it. I'm so grateful for you. What would you say to people about hope? What do you want people to know about hope?
Hope is your lifeline. Hope is eternal. It never goes away. You can't lose it. If you share it with somebody, it don't take from you at all. It gives to them. Hope is like priceless. You can't buy it, but you can share it. And you can keep it within yourself as well, but you can still share it to give other people hope as well.
Now, I know you have some things that you wanted to talk about hope. You know, we have some time if you want to share with people what hope means to you or some examples of hope.
Well, I want to go back to when we did our Bible study. We did Girl Pray For Me, your book. And you talked about Elijah. Your book was awesome. It's a good read. Oh my God. I learned so much from going through that study with you. And what stuck with me was when you told me about, I think it's 1 King 18, where Elijah was praying for rain. And I guess what happened was the Israelites were so bad to where God stopped it from rain for three years. And so Elijah said, I'll fix y'all. I'm going to go ask God for some rain. And he started for rain for 7 days. And although he didn't see any rain, he kept sending his servant down to the water to see if there's going to be any rain. And he had that much faith and that much hope in God that he knew eventually it would rain. He knew it. He just knew it in his heart. He had that much conviction in him. So when he went down the 7th time, he meaning the servant, and saw just a little tiny cloud. That right there is hope. That little cloud, that one little light at the end of the tunnel, that one little beacon of something that you could see that can open something up for you. That's hope.
And I think the other thing that resonated with me about that Bible study that we did was when we talked about David and Goliath.
Yeah.
When Goliath put his armor on David, and David was like, I can't go in this. Like, that line in the Bible struck me so hard. I can't go in this. What it made me think about was me putting on other people's expectations of me and then trying to operate under that, what they wore, what they did, what they wanted, what was made specifically for them. Yeah, but in that story of David and Goliath, the hope part of it was that God had proven himself over and over again to David, so that when he was like, nope, I can't go in this, I'm about to go get my slingshot and my 5 smooth stones, and he used the tools that he had to defeat that giant. That resonated with me when we did that Bible study. That resonated with me. So let's talk about Salvaged and Saved.
Ooh, that's my baby. Okay. Salvaged and Saved I wrote this whole thing because I wanted an outlet for people to see how God can salvage you and save you. And I studied the word salvage and save really intently to make sure that I got the right intention. Like, you have to, because you can't give the wrong message. For me, salvage, it's like you bring something from a wreckage, or you bring it back from a dead thing, or you take it out from the garbage, for example. You found something in the garbage and you resurfaced it back to like life again. Or a plant died and you want to bring it back to life. Although folks threw it away saying that, oh, this plant is dead, it's not going to grow anymore. You get that plant, you nourish it, you water it, you grow it, and grow it back to its natural, beautiful form that it is. And that's where Salvage and Saved came from. I had to nourish and grow myself back to my original form that I was, because in some instances I had lost myself in a way. And Salvage and Saved, hold on a second.
I can still hear. She'll come back. So Salvaged and Saved is Gloria's new podcast that she recently launched. And she's been working on this podcast. So her audience is of one. And so we wanted to tell you all about it so that you can go and you can be interviewed by her if that is your inclination. But she's been working so hard on her podcast. So I wanted her to tell you all about it because it's really good. She's been working on the music for it and working on the topics. And so she has probably about 4 episodes that she has completed thus far. So if you are just now joining us, and thank you to those of you who are watching me live, this is fun to me and I would love to talk to you. So if you want to be interviewed or talk to me, put your name in there, and I would love to schedule that with you. I have to do this, and I have to do it when the Holy Spirit inspires me, because otherwise I will run away from it. And so Penda James is coming out of the shadows now. So I wanted to, today we're talking about hope, and Gloria is someone that I met at our church, and she and I had a really, really tense sandpaper moment, but from that a beautiful relationship has blossomed. And so I wanted to introduce you all to her today. I think she's having some technical difficulties on her end. Maybe she'll come back. If she doesn't, that's okay too. You got to meet her. Now go introduce yourself to her. Are there any questions from anybody? I do. Sharnae, thank you so much for being here, being consistent, and for asking the questions that you did. That helped to make this process a little more exciting for me, because I see the comments in there. And hey, Bridget, how are you? So Gloria hasn't made it back yet. I don't want to, out of the Sharnae. Okay, I hear you. Out of the shadows. Okay, I'm going to write that down. It does sound like an awesome title for a book, and the next book. Here comes Gloria.
I'm back. Hey.
Okay, so while you were gone, they gave me a title for my next book.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh. That's okay. This is what I needed to come out of the shadows. So I want you to tell the viewers about your podcast, Salvaged and Saved, and tell them, what is the intention behind you being, creating a podcast, and how can they listen?
Okay, so I created it because I needed to salvage and save myself. I needed something to pour out into and to have people pour into as well. And so it's a healing process for me, actually, because you know how you go through an addiction and you have to go through some steps in order to heal? Well, you have to first admit that you have an issue. And by creating Salvage and Save, it created an avenue for me to tell people my issue and to tell them how they can save and salvage their own issue. So not just for me, but for other people as well to pour into. It gives you an outlet to let people know that I'm listening, I identify with you, I understand you, and we can grow and salvage and save together. And that's the main reason why I created it.
One of the things that I shared while you were coming back on was about how we had a really tense sandpaper moment. And one of the things that we talked a little bit earlier about me being really hard on myself. I came to Georgia with the expectation that I wasn't going to get close to anybody. And that was because the few women who were in pastoral wife leadership that were willing to talk to me about their experiences told me not to get close to people and to keep my relationships and closeness wherever my friends are. And that part of that is why we didn't get along, because we saw things in each other that needed polishing. And so each of us had sandpaper in our hand and we needed to polish each other, but we were clashing.
Right.
We saw in us what we didn't like about ourselves, basically. With dancing, and I miss dancing. I miss singing in the choir. I miss those things. But to be in the position where you don't know who to trust and you don't know who is for you and who really, really genuinely cares about you. And so I just want to say, while we're here talking about hope, that our connection gave me hope about relationships. Because when we got to the place where we healed from the breakdown in our communication, our friend, like now, I can't say everybody is my friend. I just, have to keep some things close to my heart, but I share pieces of me with you because you're special to me. And so I just want to thank you for that. Thank you for restoring the hope that I had about, connections with people, because now I look at you and you're glowing. That's, my sister has Tanya Glow Up, and you say, people call you Glow. And so you are glowing, like, you're just glowing. And so people want to know, once this is over, go back in and put the link to your podcast so that people can listen. And if there's anybody that is on here who's watching, if you want to be interviewed by Gloria, if you want to have a conversation with her just to help yourself talk about your own testimony, please feel free to reach out to her. Tell them how they can reach you, Gloria.
You can reach me at comfortinggloria@gmail.com. Real simple. Okay. Or my Facebook page, Make It Glorious, as well.
Is it 2 G's? Comforting Gloria?
It's the 2 words, Comforting Gloria together, 2 G's, yes.
Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I want to say one thing about you. We come a long way, and I'm so glad that God gave us restoration. That's a part of salvaging and saving. We salvaged our relationship. And I look at it that way, because I could have not put the work in at all. I mean, but you got to do the work too.
You got to do the work. In order for us to move forward in what we're supposed to be doing, conflict is necessary.
Yeah, to grow.
And sometimes we think, oh, that's the devil. Like, I don't think everything is the devil. Sometimes it's me, because I don't want to talk to people. Or, sometimes it's me.
Tell that truth. You better tell that truth.
Sometimes it's me because I just don't know who to trust. And sometimes it's me because I don't feel like being bothered. And so everything is not the devil. Like, I get tired of that.
You can't blame it on the devil.
I get tired of that. Like, sometimes, yes, there are attacks on us, but because we have greatness in us, and we're going somewhere, but everything ain't the devil. So we put in the work, and so we restored hope in relationship. Because if there had been a breakdown you could have been walking around like, ugh, I don't like my first lady. You could have been doing that. And so it was important that we have our opportunity to connect with each other and take those sandpaper moments and come out of that room polished.
I feel so blessed. I do.
Me too.
Even the shutdown for the last 6 months has changed me as well. Because it makes you look inside yourself and you spend more time with yourself. And you have to see yourself for who you really are. Some things I saw I didn't like. So I had to change them.
Wow. Thank you, Bridget, for putting her link in there. So Bridget go find her, Gloria. You need some support. I think you have somebody, but if you need some support with your social media pages, I highly recommend Bridget, because she has helped me with a lot of projects that have been near and dear to my heart over these past few months.
Okay.
So asking for help has not been easy, but it's getting easier because people want to help us.
They want to help us. Yay, we need help.
Help us. Like, people want to be there for us, and we just got to let them, right? We got to let them. You have any parting words, Gloria?
I want y'all to help me find a name for my book. I'm writing a book as well. So
I like Salvaged.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, well, if you complete your Scribe profile, we can get you scheduled for your coaching appointment.
With my family being sick and my niece getting in an accident, a lot of stuff happened, so I haven't had a chance to go on, but I will go on this weekend and do that, because I want to get this thing started. I want to get this thing some legs so they can run.
When you said that in your email, like, I want to give this leg so it can run, that image to me is so phenomenal and so poignant, because it's really like breathing life into what God gave us. So when you said giving it legs and letting it run, like, it has a purpose that it's supposed to fulfill. But if you chop its legs because you won't you won't allow it to live, like, it's not gonna go nowhere. And the people who are supposed to read it and reach it, they won't get it.
That's true.
Because we want your book to run all over the world. Mine too. want my book to run all over the world too. So yeah, we're gonna give your baby some legs, and hopefully from this conversation that we've had, people will share some ideas with you about your title, and you'll make some awesome connections here in this, because I have some phenomenal connections. I'm going to tell you, I'm connected to some people who are powerhouses.
That's fantastic. Yeah. See how God works?
Yes, God. So thank you, Gloria. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. See you guys later. Nice to meet you all. Bye.
Bye, everybody.